After I posted my last Burano review, someone left a comment that really stuck with me. They said that upgrading from an FX6 to a Burano didn't yet make business sense for them. So I thought to myself, why not make a video explaining some of the features of the Burano that set it apart from the FX6, and then try to come to some sort of conclusion about when in your filmmaking career this nearly $20,000 upgrade makes sense. And later in the video, I'll be sharing how I make these decisions for myself. But first, let's discuss the features of the Burano that separate it from the FX6. Number 1. Internal X-OCN LT RAW Recording. X-OCN LT is the super flexible RAW recording mode on the Burano that makes recording really beautiful RAW footage super easy. The file sizes are super efficient, and X-OCN LT records parameters like white balance and ISO amongst many other things as metadata that you can fully adjust and manipulate in post. You could absolutely shoot RAW externally on the FX6, but recording externally does introduce potential points of failure and overall complexity to your workflow. Like maybe your SDI cable craps out during a take, or there's a power failure to your external recorder somehow. Not every production needs RAW recording, and I've never even heard of anybody on an actual commercial set using an FX6 to shoot RAW externally or not. So what if you don't care about RAW? Well, doesn't shooting 8.6K sound totally awesome? Shooting 8.6K on the Burano isn't just about 8K delivery, it's another massive win for post-production flexibility. And that's because you can reframe, punch in, and stabilize on a 4K timeline, but shooting 8.6K does come with a cost. The Burano 8.6K X-OCN LT files are around 9 times larger than the FX6's internal 4K X-ABC-I files at the same frame rate. Additionally, as you can see, the readout speed of the Burano at 8.6K is 5 milliseconds slower than the FX6 at 4K. Big surprise there, everybody's been complaining about this. This means that the camera will have worse rolling shutter performance in 8.6K. I also want to note that the readout speed performance of the Burano at 3.8K is actually faster than the FX6 at 4K. So if you need really great rolling shutter performance on the Burano, there is a mode for that, albeit with a slight crop. Being able to shoot RAW and 8.6K on the Burano are definitely two nice features to have, but I think honestly as a business decision, they're not that important. One advantage of the Burano over the FX6 that people aren't really talking about is that it can shoot in a variety of Super 35 modes in 4K. The FX6 can only shoot 4K in full frame, and this fact might disqualify it from shoots where you might need to use it as a B cam to a camera that's shooting Super 35. And while I think shooting 8.6K and RAW is a super cool feature to have, the features that really move the needle in your career are the ones that allow you to put your camera on more shoots and thus make more money with it. So what am I saying? Am I saying that if the FX6 had a 4K Super 35 mode, that it would be a better buy than the Burano? Not necessarily. Reliability demands a premium price, and that's why some productions and directors side-eye some more prosumer cameras like the FX3 or the FX6. On a fast-paced commercial set where time equals money, what makes the most impact is that the camera reliably captures high-quality images and that producers and directors can trust the camera to get the job done. One thing you don't really want to be doing is a sales pitch for a prosumer camera on a high-end set. So what does the Burano have going on under the hood that makes it a pro camera and not a prosumer camera? Well, the Burano has several features that reduce possible points of failure, making it a reliable cinema-built machine. The Burano features native E-mount and PL mount, whereas the FX6 only features a native E-mount. Now, the FX6 not having a PL mount is not the end of the world, but using third-party adapters does mean an additional purchase and potential point of failure. Now, you can certainly use any sort of lens on a commercial production, but generally speaking, we're using PL mount lenses the most. I would consider the mechanism that attaches the lens to the camera to be a pretty mission-critical part of the camera system. So having the lens mount that you most typically use be native to the camera, I think is pretty important. The Burano also features a built-in V-mount, whereas the FX6 requires you to purchase an additional plate, and those plates are prone to failure too sometimes. And I think this is the biggest win of the Burano over the FX6, is that literally the mechanism to power the camera is native to the camera body. The built-in V-mount and the native PL mount of the Burano, not to mention its metal internal frame, give me the confidence that I need when I'm using it on a set where time equals money. That's not to say the FX6 isn't an amazing value for what it is though. And even with a V-mount plate, external recorder, and all the accessories you need, it is a fraction of the cost of a Burano. But the Burano has more recording modes that makes it a candidate for more shoots, and it's better built, which means that it's gonna last longer and be more reliable on set. So yeah, this $25,000 camera does sound like a pretty good investment if you can make money with it. But who does it actually become a better business decision for? Well, there's kind of two types of career filmmakers. There's videographers and there's cinematographers, and videographers generally tend to get package buyouts for both their time and their equipment, where cinematographers are usually working on sets where all the camera and lighting equipment comes as a line item in the total budget of the production. So if you are a videographer and it doesn't really matter to the client what kind of camera you're using, you should really use kind of the cheapest camera that gets the job done and turns you a profit. Whereas if you're the cinematographer, you have the opportunity to buy a camera that holds up on a commercial set under the demands of those sorts of productions and creates excellent results that hold up under intense scrutiny. And because the camera and lighting equipment are being rented to the production, either the camera is gonna get rented from you or it's gonna get rented from a rental house. So once you have enough data, and I recommend like a few years of data, it kind of just makes sense after a while if you need the same things over and over again, the same cameras over and over again, that you become the vendor for the camera. And so if the Burano, or really any other camera platform, matches up with the needs of the productions that you're working on over and over again, and you have the data that illustrates that, I think that is the point where a camera like the Burano becomes a no-brainer business decision. I would say also never make camera or gear purchasing decisions based on emotion, like, oh my god, it'd be so cool to shoot 8.6K, or oh my god, like I would love to have the image quality of the Alexa. Make those decisions based on data. Otherwise, you are gonna end up broke. A specific camera is not going to get you more clients, but owning a specific camera that your clients repeatedly ask for or need is gonna make you money. But even if you have the data to support that you would make money with a camera, never, ever, 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 ever buy gear that you can't afford. If you're still building momentum in your career, the Sony FX6 is honestly one of the best business decisions you can make. It's unfairly good for the money, it's reasonably cheap to buy, and it makes you profitable fast. But really the foundation for my philosophy on buying expensive gear really comes down to this. A good rule of thumb is that you should be able to pay off any gear that you're buying in under 2 years. If you're doing buyouts for your time and equipment combined and the client doesn't really care what camera you use, then the FX6 is absolutely the better camera for you. That being said, if you're missing opportunities consistently to rent your own camera to productions that require a solid cinema-built platform like the Burano, then I would highly consider upgrading. And if you consistently see a need for the features that we covered, like X-OCN LT, Super 35, or 8.6K, then the Burano might become a camera that starts making you money. Now personally, in my own career, what I've done is make sure that I have about 3 to 4 years of data so that I can fully understand the needs of my market and the features and brands that my market favors. In the end, I would and did choose the Burano for the same reason that I would choose the Alexa, and that is because, yes, you do get incremental image quality improvements, but the real value is in the flexibility and most importantly, the reliability of the platform.